What is up, everybody? Welcome back into the LFC transfer room. It's a preview of a win. 3-0, Liverpool, Norwich, Carabao Cup. It was a tremendous match. I'm feeling great. I'm Jack. Matty, how are you feeling after fresh off this win?
Feeling good, you know. I said in the predicted lineup, I want us to have a good cup run, a fancier trip to Wembley. So I was impressed with the kids who came in. The only one who didn't set the world light for him was the Ox, but everyone else put in a fantastic performance.
Jared, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I was really happy with the win. Very clinical. A little sloppy in the first half, I thought, but once Klopp made the substitution at halftime and Cade Gordon kind of played more centrally, I thought the match got way tighter on our end. Yeah, super happy with the win.
Chris, fresh off that watch along, rest of the vocal cords a bit, but how are you feeling?
Honestly, I'm so happy. It's good vibe city here, mate. It really is. Takumi Minamino scoring always puts a smile on my face, and the fact that he did it twice, I mean, it felt even more nice. We were just so good today. Just completely dominant. Barring and even like the goalkeeper got to show it off by saving a penalty as well. Everyone put in a great performance, even Ox.
Let us know in the comments your choice for man of the match. Matty, you took exception to the Ox. Should we start with the bad and the Ox, or should we start with the good? I think get the bad out of the way first.
Yeah, let's do that.
Oxlade.
First half, atrocious. Did claw it back a bit in the second half, but just felt like he was giving every ball away. And he just didn't feel as though he was as arsed. I know the Ox can press better than he was pressing in that first half. We've seen it time and time again from him. So I just didn't rate him in the first half. And even the second half, I don't think he was fantastic. I think whether all the other players just put in that good of a performance, he overshadowed them. But then you'd be expecting the Ox as one of the senior players in that 11 to be put in a better performance in my eyes.
Chris, a bit of a defender of the Ox. Jared, I'll let you finish the water, and then I'll toss it to you. The Ox, how did you feel about his performance today?
I agree with Matty. He stood out to me as not having a great match. Seemed like he gave the ball away a bit carelessly at times. Kind of like he was not on the same page as some of the other players that he was trying to like play 1-2s with or whatever it may have been. Yeah, I don't know, just kind of lacking. I think it's kind of to be expected because it's not like this group is used to playing together. These guys are used to slotting in as reserves and substitutes. So to have them all on the pitch at the same time is a bit different, of course. But yeah, I thought he struggled a bit for his standards as well, what we're used to.
Yeah, and it was an interesting midfield, It was Jones, Keita, Oxlade. Keita's coming off at halftime. Jones coming off later on in the match. I don't know on this.
I'm pretty sure Keita came off tactically.
Yeah, I agree. I think that was maybe a rest. Matty and I talked about it before we went on. Maybe it's a rest for the weekend. Keita returns to midfield starting lineup.
I think he came off as well because I think he needed to put Curtis Jones on the left hand side of the midfield. I think Curtis Jones was fantastic in that 6 role. By the way, I think he done a fantastic job. He was all over the park. We tweeted out a touch map of him. Fantastic. But I do think he's more effective on the left hand side of that midfield. So I do think it was more of a tactics change. And fair play to Tyler Morton, came in. I think he played a fantastic game. He wasn't scared to ping a ball across the pitch, which is what you want to see from your 6 in the team. So I was impressed with him as well. And yeah, that the midfield was solid for me, bar the Ox.
I mean, you mentioned Morton, also Cade Gordon, Connor Bradley. I mean, those are 3 youngsters from the academy coming through. I mean, they looked good. I would say all 3 of them looked good. They didn't look like they were too out of place. How important is that to get these young guys coming through?
It's so important, and everyone, Matty knows, and we all know very, very well, especially because Matty's from the area and stuff, how much the fans appreciate a local lad. And to have, players coming through, scousers like Tyler Morton, as well as players coming through the academy anyway, as well. But we haven't even talked about this man, who I thought was astounding. Again, he just doesn't stop, does he?
Is Kostas making a push for the first team?
Nah. Andy Robbo's the best in the world. But Kostas Tsimikas could start for a good proportion of the Premier League sides. A good proportion, if not all of them.
Yeah, another shout out. There's a lot of love for Kostas. Is he amongst the men of the matches for you guys? Is he amongst the top end of that list?
Yeah.
I think he's like top 3 for me, top 5 maybe.
His delivery. Sorry, Jared. Go on, carry on, mate.
No, it's fine. I thought Kelleher was incredible. The penalty save like changed the dynamic of the match. The way he dangled the leg and even though he was diving right, I thought that was just so well done. And he was, the way he came off his line, he was so fast off his line, and a few of those like Allison type headers where he was way outside his box. And then I thought Konate was so immense, just so like stable and sturdy at the back. He's so strong. He has enough pace. But yeah, I mean, of course, Tsimikas is in that conversation, and Minamino, his second goal, the finish was just so silky and smooth. The way he just kind of waited that half second and lifted the ball in a way with his, just scooped it. Oh, really beautiful. So
it's so rare that we have so many players to shout out about how good they were.
Well, yeah, and can we just say, right, this team apparently had no squad depth 2 weeks ago. Or however much.
I've watched about transfers, right? I don't get me wrong, I'd love to see a big, massive sign and come to Liverpool, but I'm happy seeing kids from the academy come in and play that well. That's what the academy is there for. Remember when Barcelona won the Champions League against United? I'm sure like 9 out of their 11 was from La Masia. So why can't we replicate something like that? And every kid who's come into the team and Klopp's give a chance to has impressed me every time he's came in.
The only one is Conor Randall. I do remember him. He's crap.
Other than him, like recently, the academy looks really exciting. Like we haven't even seen Mussolowski get a go in the first team yet, and he's meant to be like the next big thing out the academy. So yeah, it's depth in the academy is fantastic.
And I'll pull this comment up from Nick Too Cool. I realized mid-match, and I think we've discussed this and we all agreed on this, a month or two ago, but we really have the best center backs in all of Europe, like by far. The depth, the balance that like the types of center backs we have. Like tonight we saw Gomez was more of the cat. He's faster, has more pace, more agility, and Konate more of the dog, just like super stable and strong. We have so much depth at that position, which is so ironic given the season we all struggled through last season, how hard it was playing Fabinho at center back and whatnot. So that could very well win us the league and or the Champions League or a cup this year, because we are so solid at the back. Throw Allison in that mix, and so I was so blown away by that tonight. It really stood out.
I wanted to jump in and say how much I love the cat and dog. I love that analogy.
That was such a good analogy.
I forget who I first saw it from.
I've heard it before. I didn't make that up, to be fair.
No, but it's a perfect way of describing them. I want to jump a bit around.
I think the testament to Gomez and Konate is the fact that they can't get it. Like they can't get into our first team at the minute. That shows how strong we are at centre back. Like the performance they've just put in, and they won't start. And like most games, it's going to be Van Dijk and Matip if both fit.
All right.
So I think that shows our depth.
After the Milan match, I titled our review Divock Origi. I titled the preview of that match. Divock Origi is back, and you know what, boys? It's
Angus Gunning goal.
That header, that was a nice header.
It was a nice header.
Yeah, I mean, Origi against Milan was all right. He was all right again today. 7 out of 10, like he was in Milan. But if you can get 7 out of 10 out from every week, then he is an addition. But don't get me wrong, I think we can do better than Divock Origi. But the 2 games he's played in the past week, he's impressed. So
I mean, goal to assist last 2 appearances.
I said in the watch along, if a fit, firing, and motivated Divock Origi is an asset to any team in the world.
Yeah. And when he plays on the last man, he's good. And I said that in the preview yesterday. He played on the last man today, and when you play to Origi's strengths, he's going to score. But I do think it was interesting that he didn't get the captain's armband, because usually Liverpool go on longer serve. So on that analogy, Divock should have had the armband today, and he usually does. He give it to Gomez, which I think's interesting.
Was Origi before Gomez?
Origi actually signed the season before what was loaned.
Yeah.
And then Gomez came in.
He usually gets it. When like none of the main ones are there, Origi, he's captained the team so many times. That's why I was surprised to see Gomez get it, which I think speaks volumes about Origi
Didn't you boys just smile when they chanted "Ain't nobody like no Joe Gomez" and he was wearing the captain's armband and he sprayed a ball? It just made me makes me happy, makes me smile. Nice.
I said before we came on to Jack, captain's performance from him.
Oh, was and also with the away crowd, it was sensational.
Yeah, it felt like a home match. It was incredible.
That was unreal. I don't know
even pulled out a Minamino song. I freaking love that one.
Anytime you can hear "Fuck the Tories" belting out on national television, it's fantastic.
So this is actually a good point from Dan here. Minamino Origi, 2 goals for Minamino, goal and assist for Origi. Who? Okay, every time I say Origi, I just think Divock group like the chant in my head. Anyways, who's after Jota, Firmino, Salamane? Which of those 2 is the next one?
I think Curtis Jones.
Oh, for the front 3.
He's played on the left the past 2 times. I think he had he was there for a few minutes as well today. But the game against Palace, he played on the left. And I think Curtis Jones is a lot more effective from the left. I've said that for about 2 years. And we've seen that in the game against Everton when he wasn't scared to have a go in that. And I think this season, this minutes we have seen of him, he hasn't been scared, and that's something I said he did need to improve last year. And I would rather see Curtis Jones starting on the left, and then if, say, for example, Jota was injured, I'd rather Jones start on the left and Manny down the middle and Salah on the right. If we had Jota and Bobby out, then put Minamino or Origi there. I think Curtis Jones just offers more.
I don't know. I love Curtis. I love Curtis. I really, really do. But I think Minamino has so much about him.
Were they really? Were they really?
Yeah, they were on pens, weren't they?
Get in.
But I think Minamino's got very natural instinct in terms of goal scoring. I'm not sure Jones has got that. Maybe on the left. I'd rather a Minamino through the middle, to be honest. I think he's good. But he roams everywhere. No one really knows his best position. You talk about attacking Minamino. It's like, is he a striker? Is he an attacking midfielder? Is he a right winger? Is he a left winger? No one actually knows. So I think that's why I think he offers more just at the bout at the moment.
I'm just excited about the Everton news. Sorry, Matty, go ahead.
I'm just trying to find Jones's numbers from the academy, but he had the Premier League 2. He wrote us as he got the goal scoring. In the Premier League 2 in 1920, he played 14 times, scored 9 goals, and had 5 assists.
That he does have a goal scoring. You know, he's got an eye for goal.
I thought he was great in the midfield today too.
I
don't
definitely.
I think he's just special. He's just special.
Just like in those tight spaces, like those little body feints, faking one way and just like creating space out of nothing and finding the right pass. I thought he was just really, really solid on the ball. But I would be open to seeing him play more like as a forward on the left, as Matty said. So depends.
We also can't be distracted that we've got a very good midfielder there as well. Yeah. Like he is that good. Like he can play both. And Jurgen loves his versatility.
Because when we started this channel, I remember telling you all about Kurtis, and he hadn't really played. And the fact that he's played 50 games today for Liverpool, I think that just shows his stature in how much Klopp believes in him. He's 19, still 20. So he's.
So I have a question. We mentioned Jones midfield versus forward. Can he play? He's 20. Him and Elliott, are they possible in a midfield 3? Jones on the left, Elliott on the right.
In the academy, they were class, you know. They were really good.
I think that could be.
When we signed Elliott and he went into that academy team for that, I think it was like 6 months before Jones broke through, they were fantastic together. Like so good together. So I do think they could be the future with Cade Gordon as well on the right of the front 3. I think we are seeing the next crop of Liverpool players slowly creeping through.
Gordon, we haven't really talked explicitly about him. How good was he? I think he was good. He wasn't great, but he was good for 16.
I think if there wasn't so much hype around him before the game, everyone would be speaking more about him after the game. I think there was too much hype generated for a 16-year-old. I think he was good. Made a few errors, but he was good for a 16-year-old to come into that Liverpool team and ultimately won 3-0, made a few good chances. He was good. He was good. But I do think if there wasn't all this, he's going to be the youngest scorer and that there was so much pressure before the game on him So I think that overshadowed him really. But I think he put in a solid 7, 8 out of 10 today.
I thought he was really solid. I liked him better in the second half. I think he moved more centrally, like kind of center right part of the attacking third, and I might prefer him more like dropping into that space because there was that one play where he picked up a pass in like he dropped into midfield, he turned, he spun his man and like beat another guy, and then he played that beautiful ball to I think out to Origi, and Origi just barely put it wide. I thought that was his best play of the match. And I thought he looked good. There's a few instances on the right-hand side in the first half where he was playing really far right, and he'd pick up the ball and he kind of would like wait for someone to come towards him. He didn't really know what to do when I wanted him to just drive it at the left back and take him on. And when he did do that one time, he had a really nice shot that barely missed wide. So, yeah, I agree with Matty. I think if we didn't know about him much and we just saw that performance, we'd all be pretty excited. It wasn't perfect, but he didn't do a ton wrong either. He had a few nice chances created and stuff.
His career isn't going to start and end, in this match. There was always going to be building blocks.
He's been touted as the most exciting teenager in England, hasn't he?
Yes.
I just think we just gotta. I think it's very brave of Klopp and Linders to play him today, because the amount of pressure that's been put on him from external sources, James Pearce included, actually, as being like the replacement and stuff, and same with Harvey Elliott. Is very, very brave, but they're living up to it. They're doing really, really well so far, and hopefully, the latter can come back and continue that.
I'm sure it was Bill Shankly who once said that if you're good enough, you're old enough.
I don't know. Someone said it. It's true.
A lot of people.
I'm sure it was Shankly. Shankly said it about someone years and years and years ago. I remember my granddad telling me about it, and he always used to say Bill Shankly stuff. So him and Elliott. Elliott's just different gravy. But Kate Gordon's, he's impressed me. Every minute he's put on the red shirt for the first team, even if it's been in pre-season, he's been impressive.
This is unique. I don't think in the title or the Champions League winning team, there were really too many youngsters besides Trent. We're talking about as a youngster, he's 22. But beyond Trent, there hasn't really been too many young players that have made serious impacts. But now we got Jones, we got Gordon, we got Elliott. I'm excited.
I think we need it. Challenge on all fronts.
So, last player I want to hit on, you guys can feel free to bring up anybody else if you want to talk about. But Minamino, 2 goals. Overall performance, 2 goals on the face of it, tremendous performance. But how good was he beyond the goals in your guys'?
Second half, he was good. He was very good. I think first half, it was just the goal and vibes. That was it. He didn't really do much else. But second half, I thought he brought more people into play, especially when Morton came on. Morton sort of gave the freedom for the other 2 midfielders, and then Minamino fed off that well, which was really, really good to see. Yeah, we haven't even touched on the penalty either, but Minamino was. I just think he's got so much to offer, especially as a backup. Especially in these games, in the cup games, he's lethal. He doesn't miss chances, so it's great. It's great to see, and hopefully he can get more minutes throughout the season.
When you look through his stats as well for this game, he had 85% pass succession, 100% dribble success rate. He was only dispossessed once all game. Minamino, which some of the plays he was doing today reminded me of when he played for Salzburg. Some of the runs he was doing off the ball, not just when he was on the ball. It was just, if we can get that Minamino every week, he is an addition to the squad massively.
Yeah, I think the first half, as I said earlier, it just seemed really disjointed from both sides. Like a lot of overhit passes, a lot of balls hit out of bounds, just kind of sloppy. Obviously, we got the early goal, and that gave us some breathing room. But if that penalty isn't saved by Kelleher, which was again an incredible save with the dangling leg, it could have been a totally different match. So, yeah, I think in the second half he looked just a bit more comfortable on the ball. He made more happen, and obviously that second goal was a very silky finish. And I think that showed kind of how natural he is as a goal scorer, right? His kind of balance, the timing, like the fact that he knew to kind of wait that extra half second to then lift the ball in was. I think he could be good for us in and around the box, and he's a finisher.
Definitely. I think Taki is very interesting. He's flexible. He can do a lot of different things. We've actually, I think you, Jared, mentioned the penalty twice now. Keller, I mean, we talk about with Allison, keeping us in matches for us to go on and win. How different is this match if he doesn't save that penalty? It was a great penalty save, great double block by Gomez after it. I mean, that changed the entire complexion of the match.
Yeah. It depends because you don't know how some of the kids are going to react to going in a half-time draw. And it messes up all Klopp's team, so he's prepared for the first half, and all that added into it. Kelleher, every time he gets in goal, impresses me. He really does. He's a fantastic backup to Allison. Fantastic.
And the thing I'll say with him, real quick, Chris, sorry, is what impresses me most is his comfort, and that I'm not nervous when he's around the ball like I would be around it when we had Mignolet or Karius. I don't have that kind of nerves with him, and that's, I think, speaks volumes, at least in my eyes, about how well he's developed.
And he's another prospect from the academy.
Exactly.
Definitely. I just think I mentioned it in the stream. I used to be a goalkeeper back in my heyday. And it's only about 3 years ago. And the goalkeeper coach taught me that when there's a penalty, always leave a trailing leg, because it gives you the option that if there's, if they go straight down the middle, you can try and block it like that, and you can go to one side. He did pick one side, but he left the trailing leg there, and it always is worth it because it always covers the low drive into the corner, but into the middle of the goal. Sorry, so brilliant save.
If you watch that again and again and again, he adjusts his legs mid dive. The save is don't take any. If anyone thinks he saved the pen, watch it back and just look how he adjusted his leg movement when he realised mid save that it was going down the middle. World class. He's only 22 as well.
I feel like with keepers, you can see it in their eyes. This is maybe a weird theory, but like you think of like an Adrian, he's so wide eyed, but then you look at Allison or Kelleher, they look very calm and collected at all times, just like there's just ice in their veins. I feel like he passes that eye test from our point of view. Like to us, he just seems very calm. I think that calm emanates to the back line and the rest of the team. And he's built for it. He's ready.
You say Adrian wide-eyed, more normal-eyed. The best goalkeepers in the world must have their eyes closed. They just close their eyes, and their Jedi mind powers. They just save shots like that. So, man of the matches. Who are we picking as our one man? I have to pick someone out of a great bunch. Matty, you look undecided, so I'm going to you first.
I'm going to say Curtis Jones, purely on the, not biased, but purely on the basis of the fact that when he started that game, he was the 6. And I think everyone, myself included, was like, how's he going to handle being the 6? Because he's so much better attacking, and he was fantastic. And when you look at his touches for the 90 minutes, he was absolutely everywhere. He's strong on the ball, his ball play, his movements off the ball. I think Curtis Jones was fantastic for me tonight. And he played in 3 different positions across his 85 minutes he was on. So to have the versatility to do that during a game is fantastic for me. I mean, I know the other lads scored goals, and Minamino was probably a shout for man of the match, but I think Curtis Jones impressed me with his ability to change his position within the game so drastically as well, and be effective in both positions.
Chris, who you got?
The captain's performance today, Joe Gomez. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. You can't tell that he's been injured so much. 3 horrible long-term injuries, and he's still world class. It's ridiculous. Like that, it's superhuman, really, that he's had so much. And the fact that the fans were chanting his name today, he played like a man. It was really, really good to see.
Jared, what do you got?
I think Kelleher is a great shout. I think both center backs are a great shout as well. They both were immense. And I do think Curtis Jones is a great shout. I'm going to say Minamino because that first finish, like, yes, the ball fell to him, but that's still not the easiest finish. And then the third goal, like just how composed he was. Again, I'm beating a dead horse here, but like just the way he lifted that past the keeper, he was so composed, so silky. And I thought he was good off the ball. He was good, kind of picking up tight areas and making things happen. So, I'll go with Minamino. But any of those 5 could have gotten it for me.
I'm going to give a shout to Keller. I think he was tremendous. I think that we mentioned it, how impactful that save was to keep it 1-0. Just his sweeper keeper actions were tremendous. And on the Twitter, the poll, Minamino won with 67% of the vote on our LFC Transfer Room Twitter, over 1,600 votes. He had 67% of it. So pretty resounding, at least in terms of the public eye.
Kaiser is injured.
He is.
Oh my God.
Yeah, Klopp said he kicked the grass in the first half, something like that. Didn't think it was serious, but we don't want to take any risks.
Well, I don't think that says like he could just have a knock. Like that's not saying he's definitive.
As a knock, it's usually 5 games on the bench. I mean, he's had a good run. How many games in are we? Yeah, he hasn't been
6 games.
He's had a good run for Kaiser, but I mean, if he is injured, that midfield can only be Fabinho, Henderson, and Jones.
I mean, if we're missing Thiago, Keita, and Elliott, people are going to be like, "Oh, injury crisis." I mean, if any club loses 3 first-choice midfielders, it's going to be bad. I mean,
it was the centre backs last summer. It's the midfielders now.
No.
It's going to be like soldiers. We should have brought a midfielder.
Oh, don't say
Basuma.
Well, look, I mean, like we still do, you know. So wait.
James Milner still exists, by the way, fellas.
Yeah, Milner, Jones, Oxlade, all can fill in the midfield. Well, Oxlade, meh.
Yes, he could.
Meh.
World class midfield.
I would sooner see us switch to a 4-2.
This season, Chris, you said the Ox is a false 9. Played there, garbage. You said the Ox.
He wasn't garbage. He was good.
Garbage. You said the Ox is a centre mid. He's played there today. Garbage. I think it's sad.
You got to give a man some consistency, Matthew.
I mean, I loved the Ox when he first signed. He was fantastic for us, but he just looks like a shadow of his former self, and it's sad to see it. I think injuries. I think it's very similar to Sturridge in a sense. Injuries are going to probably ruin him.
It's a debate for another day.
Yeah, Jurgen Klopp on Keita. He kicked the ground in the first half and felt something. I don't think it is serious, but we didn't want to take any risks.
Especially with Naby, you don't play him on.
I back that. So if he misses the weekend, but he's back for Porto, I think that's perfect for us, anyways.
I don't think that's perfect for Klopp's plans.
I don't think it is either.
Do you not think I think he might play Milner on Saturday. We'll talk about this again.
He's got a flu though, but I think he probably would have played Fabinho, Hendo, and Jones, and then saved Kaiser for Porto.
Yeah,
played Kaiser in Brentford, and saved Jones for Porto because you can mix the teams up a bit against.
I think Kate is made for Champions League though. See,
yeah, he's always fantastic in the Champions League.
Yeah. Anyway, we'll save that debate for another day.
We will indeed. I think it's very interesting what happens going forward. Brentford obviously in the weekend, Porto after that, and then one of the biggest matches of the season already, Manchester City. We will have all your covers you need.
Biggest match of the season was Chelsea, Jack.
I think it was.
I think Chelsea the challengers for us.
Yeah.
Matty, you going to Man City?
Yeah.
I'll be there. Limbs.
I'm flying out.
Dude,
come down to the Abbey pub, mate. Come down to the Abbey.
Oh man, that's my dream someday.
Bruises miles away.
Oh my God, so far away. Jared, you're a bit closer than I am.
Yeah. I feel like I have like 300 miles on you or something.
Slightly shorter flight than I would have. I'll fly in the morning of. Anyways, everyone, thank you very much for joining today's stream. After the very exciting win against Norwich, we'll be back with more streams ahead of the weekend's match. Make sure to subscribe, follow us on all our socials. LFC Transfer. Jack, Matty, Jared, and Chris. A great rest.